Okay guys, Tuesday's highlights at GreatStockPicks.com from our live trading chat room. I think I made a total of 3 calls all day, and I'll go into those real quick. DHI, I had on bounce watch because I thought maybe the size of this candle was overdone, plus you had the 100-day, plus 19 was resistance for quite a while, could have become support, especially on a gap down. Okay, so this just was on bounce watch. Let me switch to 5-minute candles and show you how it opened. Okay, this is a mouthful. Are you ready? This met our bounce play gap down strategy. All right, there's the opening 5-minute candle, nice volume. I like when a bounce play, in other words, something that's gotten hit either very hard for one day, like DHI, or something that's been down 4 or 5 days into support. I love when they gap down. To me, that's my favorite way to trade these. Okay, so the trade is, especially since it stayed in a fairly narrow range, a break of this candle's high. Now, if it goes way down and just keeps selling for an hour and then comes back up, I'm not taking the break. But if it can stay in its 5-minute range and then break that early high, and it did that. It put in an inside candle on the next one. So my call, when it looked like this, had the projector on, told everybody if this breaks the high of the day, 19.14, I'm long. My stop's going to go right below 19. So 15 cents risk. There's the trigger. Look what happens. Just like the SPY, this thing just kept going over the next 10-15 minutes. All right, so a quick 60-cent move in our favor on 15 cents risk, and had pretty good size. It was nice volume, pretty easy to play, and ended up, kind of meandering the rest of the day. But as we teach in our chat room, we get shape like this. We take an entry here, and we get 3, 4, 5-minute candles in a row. We're sellers, okay? You can always keep a few, a third of a position or whatever with a break-even stop in case the thing's going to be one of those all-day deals. But otherwise, my attitude is never look a gift spike in the mouth, what I always say in chat. Okay, Express Scripts, another one I had on bounce watch, ESRX. Here's the daily. It was just 3 big days down in a row after the gap down. I thought maybe we revisit and kind of do a double bottom here, so it was on bounce watch. And then it looked like this when I called it. All right, I had this tight base, nice volume here. There's a few reasons I like this. I like the volume right there, this big spike. Biggest volume candle of the day right here, coming off of its lows of the morning. Okay, here's its early high. And so this volume spike might mean something. So I went ahead and said over this base here with a stop below this base might get us through the high of the day, maybe some short covering. All right, so the long idea, 51.62. Worst case stop, 51.39, not a bad risk reward. And there's the trigger, and then it does get through the high of the day and makes its way up to 52. So nothing huge, okay, but plenty of time to pay ourselves, a good couple hours to pay ourselves while it was nicely green. 52, a whole number, plus you had the gap fill, always a good place to sell some. And then I think my only other call was MNST, at least as far as what I put in the announcements tab, where everyone could see the pop-up. MNST gapped down to 40 the other day, and it's been strong ever since. All right, it was interesting to me because the volume this morning thought, hey, we might have a short squeeze going on, and then it does all this, and then you get this nice tight little range. Okay, when it looked like this, I said over this little flag here, could get us through the high of the day and maybe continue this little mini short squeeze that's going on. So 46, I think 61 or 62 was my idea. Stop below that base. It triggered there. I'm looking now for the high of day break, which it did. Okay, now one thing I teach people, if you're looking for a base break and then to get you through the high of the day, then light up the new highs ticker and then some more short covering, when you get the high of day break and you don't get any follow through, there's no reason to hang out. Okay, you had 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to take a flat here, and that's the way to handle that. Okay, because you didn't light up the new highs ticker and get that squeeze you were looking for, and look what it did. Just the rest of the day just meandered sideways. Also, now CLNE was on my early radar. I mean, I showed everybody this when it looked like this. 5 minutes in, I put this on the projector for everybody to see. Nice volume here. They had good news. It had room to run. This was one of my front and center stocks, but I was busy trading DHI, and so I missed this one. But this is even an intelligent grab just on a break of the 5-minute high here because the volume, this thing was good. That 5-minute high break. Now, I did not call it that way. Did have some members take it on the 5-minute high break, and look at that. Just kept going up to 1240, and then when it looked about somewhere in here, let's see, I think about here, it comes on, was that it? No. It was when it looked like this. It came on CNBC and got a volume spike. One of our members alerted the room to the volume spike. And some of us did what we call a Tokyo trade and got in here. Again, I didn't make an official call here, but there was certainly money to be made on this. We got a nice push through the high of the day and a push to 1260. So the 5-minute high break or this as a what we call a Tokyo trade on this volume spike, either one afforded a little bit of money in our pockets too. And then my one, I'm telling you what, I'm in an SMS slump. I started that SMS service, and I'm in an SMS slump. I don't know how else to put it, but called Lionsgate, LGF, right here at 15, right there at 1597. Remember, I send this out via text, so I try to do it during a time where I'm not trying to peg the bottom to the penny. I'm trying to call an area. So 1597. And this did go up to 1613, I think. So, but as far as receiving a text, taking the trade, and then selling into that, that would be kind of tough to do if you don't have access all day. So the chat room, many of us players in the chat room got a nice trade there, but it never did continue. And anyway, just did not get the bounce that I was looking for. I'll show you the reason real quick. We had the intraday shape. Remember, at the time, it was right below 1597. So these are 60-minute candles, and it looked, it hadn't gone down this far yet. So anyway, you had a nice long base here. We had earnings behind us, by the way. Had this big run on earnings. And intraday shape using 5-minute candles to support. And I believe that vampire movie coming out soon. So I thought we might get a nice bounce there. And we had that shape. So it was overdone, and again, it's just another lackluster, closed about 7 cents below where I called it. It wasn't very risky. You know, I knew we had some support there, and the stop held, but I mean, I'm definitely in an SMS slump. I can't seem to put a beautiful SMS call together ever since the election. So I do pledge to try to find some better ones. Anyway, LGF. As traders, someone in the chat room said, hey, do we trade these the same? I said, no, as a day trade, if you have the luxury of being in the chat room, we can wait for this to trigger, break a previous candle's high like right here. And some of us did that. Remember, I was trying to call an area because, well, you don't have the luxury as an SMS member of being able to take the trade. So I'm trying to call an area, have the stop hold. And I did that, but it just never really bounced very much. But we did get a nice scalp as far as a trade goes. And that's it. I've babbled long enough. You guys have a good night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.